was hard. Wasn't hard. It was harsh. Very hot summers, very cold winters, lots of snow. Now remember, this is a man with weak health that's going out here on a donkey with his brother, religious brother, not John Paul, in tow. He's available 25 hours a day, just about. The population was Christian, but the population also had strong traditions, local traditions, festivals, beliefs. Let's face it, a lot of magic, a lot of sorcery. What do you do, especially in these isolated places with no religious instructions? You sort of make it up, as you go along. The home mission movement was an apostolate of the major male orders and congregations, especially the Jesuits and the Capuchins. And they tried to reach uneducated and de-Christianized Catholics. They went to places where the parishes had been destroyed by war. That would be more in the Northeast. Parishes without priests, that's more in the Auvergne. And in some places, the Protestants. That too, there was not so much of Huguenot influence in the Auvergne. I recently was consulted about a description of Father Madai's mission as being an itinerant preacher against the Huguenots. And I kind of went through my wig at that description. There's no way you can call a Jesuit missionary itinerant. He goes because the bishop has asked his superior to send someone. The superior sends his best man. The best man keeps reporting to the superior. He goes home and has the superior then evaluate what he has done. So to use the word itinerant is a little inaccurate there. And he's there not only to preach, he's there for the sacraments. We'll read some of their letters to the letters that Father Madai wrote, the annual letters, they're called, to try to look at this. What's happening to these totally lonely, isolated, uneducated people in the villages? Now, that's why I spent time on the very first day. What was going on? What was life like? And what is the poverty that was there? Intellectual poverty, social poverty, and obviously physical poverty. So reconciliation, go back one thing. When I talk about physical poverty, one of the things that brings up is lack of food will bring out an aggression in people, figures. And so warfare among families, disputes between people, where do we get the charity and reconciliation that we call? Because there were so many people who didn't talk to one another, who killed one another, who stole from one another, because the situation was so terribly poor. And especially in these isolated villages, the animosity among people, and you can read it in novels as well as reading it in religious documents. So reconciliation then becomes one of the key things that he works at doing. He does this for a lot of years.